Pasta night just got a whole lot easier. Here are 5 perfect pasta dinners that come together in one pan. And per usual, nothing boring here. I'm starting out with dirty spaghetti. This is a new viral trend that I have yet to make. I have eaten it, but I have not made it. Today is the day. Dirty spaghetti refers to the same flavors that you find in dirty rice. This is a Cajun dish. Dirty just refers to those kind of meaty, smoky, spicy flavors. Despite the name, it's freaking delicious. Like a lot of good Cajun recipes, they start with the Trinity: celery, onion, and bell pepper. So I'm just gonna give those a chop. This recipe in particular is from our good friend, Chef John. And we know he would not steer us wrong. What's great about all of these one pan, one pot, crock pot pasta dinners I've got, when you cook pasta dinners, inevitably you're gonna dirty a second pot because you've got to boil the noodles, but not today. And then the meats in the spaghetti are ground beef, but also andouille sausage, however you say it. It's delicious and it's very popular in all Cajun cooking. It's just got that unique kind of smoky, slightly spicy flavor. For the sausage, I'm gonna dice it small because you want a little bit of everything in every bite. Prep is done, now we cook. All right, I'm gonna start by browning my ground beef. The fat's gonna render out and it's gonna carry through the rest of the dish. You just need about ½ pound of ground beef to start. All right, so I'm gonna get this all browned and crumbled, and then I'll go in with my veggies and sausage. We're starting to build that flavor in the pan. Veggies are tender. The way the andouille flavors everything going on so far, perfect. Now we're going in with our spices. Time to make it dirty. Onion powder, garlic powder, some paprika, a little cumin. Cumin's gonna add that smoky, like earthiness that I think is kind of an iconic flavor in dirty rice. Little oregano, dried thyme. Now it is in Cajun cooking. It's the only time I will break out the dried thyme. I usually prefer the fresh version, but in Cajun dishes, it's like you need the dried. Then salt and pepper and a little cayenne. So these are really a lot of the spices in a Cajun seasoning, which you could also add here. Now, can you smell it? Okay, so we've developed the flavor. We've kind of let these spices bloom in the heat and in that fat. And now we go in and deglaze and add our liquid. Going in with beef broth here. And I'm gonna go ahead and scrape any of the brown bits from the bottom. The pasta is gonna absorb this liquid. So this is not a saucy spaghetti, but we're gonna go in with about ½ pound of spaghetti. This recipe calls to break it. So be quiet. And you want to kind of spread it out as much as you can and make sure it is all submerged in the liquid. I'm gonna add in just a little more liquid just to make sure that the pasta is just covered. Spread it out, and I'm gonna bring it to a boil. I'm gonna cover this, let it go for about 2 minutes, and then the pasta will start to soften. We'll give it another stir and let it finish cooking. You're gonna want to uncover and give it a little stir every couple minutes. You have to cook it covered so that all the liquid doesn't evaporate out, but rather gets absorbed into the pasta. So you just keep doing this little method, cover and cook, and then just uncover and check it until that pasta is tender. This really is a very efficient way to cook pasta because you don't have to dirty that other pot, and it cooks in less time because you don't have to wait on water to boil. So it's just smart, even though it probably makes a lot of Italian grandmothers a little bit mad. See how we're looking? Perfection. See, the liquid has absorbed. It's just the right amount of saucy. Finishing touch, a little Worcestershire, and then you can taste it to see if you need to add a little more salt. But I can just tell by the looks that the flavor is on point. Let's dish it up. Finishing touch, I'm gonna add a little green onion. The viral dirty spaghetti coming right up. That flavor will knock you out. It's smoky, it's meaty, it's peppery, thanks to the cayenne and the black pepper and just the flavor that comes out of that andouille sausage. Something about the way that the beef broth kind of reduces, it absorbs into the pasta, but then it also kind of creates this really silky texture to the sauce on the outside of the noodle. It's one of those like addictive dishes that once you start eating, you don't want to stop. I can see why this recipe trend went viral, and if you haven't made it yet, here's your sign. How does one pan creamy chicken broccoli cheddar bake sound? Delicious, I know. How are we gonna do that in one pan? Well, let me show you. Okay, we start by oiling the casserole dish, and then we're going to place down a whole block of cream cheese. That's gonna be our creamy base. And then we're just gonna dump in a whole box of pasta. I think any kind of short pasta works best here. So you could do, I'm doing the rotini, you could do shells or macaroni. For the chicken, I'm also not cooking that ahead of time because this and the pasta is going to cook perfectly together at the same time. I've got boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I've cut up into about 1.5 inch pieces, and I'm going to season them with some ranch and then a little bit of salt and pepper. Just like when you boil pasta in water, the only chance it has to really absorb the flavor or saltiness is while it's cooking. So we're gonna season all of this well so that the seasoning gets into that pasta. And the chicken, as it cooks, is going to release some liquid too, and then you get that double kind of chickeny flavor going into the pasta. I'm just gonna scatter the chicken over the noodles and then in with some chicken stock. For extra creaminess, I'm also adding in a little heavy cream. We're gonna let the oven do its thing. I'm gonna cover this tightly with foil, and then I'm gonna let it get a good head start into the oven where it's about 3/4 of the way done. Then I'll add in my broccoli and my cheddar. It's been about 20 minutes. Cream cheese has gotten good and melty. Pasta is tender. It's not overcooked by any means, but it's not raw either. And the chicken is about 3/4 of the way done. I'm gonna stir in that broccoli. You know, I like a one-pot meal where we've got our meat and our veggies in one pan. And I'm gonna stir in some cheddar. I'm gonna cover it and go back in. For the last 10 minutes, uncover it and sprinkle on the rest of the cheese and pop it back in. Look how clean the kitchen is because there are no dirty pots and pans. And look at that goodness. Hot and bubbly, complete meal in one. You'll wanna let this sit for about 10 minutes before serving. That way the rest of that creamy liquid gets absorbed. I'm gonna add in just a little freshness with some parsley to brighten it up and a crack of pepper. Creamy, saucy, cheesy, gets a little crusty on the top. I love a one-pan meal and I love pasta, but I hate cleaning up. Problem solved. I'm gonna go in, get a little bit of everything, make sure it's all cooked perfectly. It's like your favorite broccoli cheddar casserole and mac and cheese had a baby. The chicken is tender, cooked perfectly. You don't want to add the broccoli in at the beginning or it would be way overcooked. It's perfect, just like this. And I love that the top of it is almost like roasted broccoli. If you are tired of the same old boring chicken and rice casseroles, you're gonna need to try the baked pasta version. This is for sure gonna be a crowd pleaser. This next one-pan pasta is lasagna, but not your typical skillet lasagna. This is Turkey Taco Skillet Lasagna. Now you know when you make lasagna, you're dirtying up all kinds of bowls to mix the fillings, skillet to ground the beef. Not today. I'm going to get my skillet hot. You can totally do this with ground beef, but since I've already done a ground beef, I'm gonna do ground turkey, also because it's cheap. Brown this. And because we're adding so many spices and stuff, you can hide that turkey and save your money. I'm also gonna go in with a little red onion. All right, so I'm just gonna cook that until that turkey is good and browned. Our ground turkey is cooked. Now we're gonna make it saucy. Kind of like how we did the Italian skillet lasagna. At this point you would add in marinara. We're gonna make a salsa taco sauce. So I am gonna use a packet of taco seasoning for this because it has the cornstarch in it, so it kind of thickens and makes a sauce. I'm also going in with a can of black beans that I've drained and rinsed. Just wanna make this super hearty. I'm gonna add in a can of diced tomatoes with green chilies with the liquid. Typically you add water in with your taco seasoning. So we've got the juices from the tomatoes and a little water. Scrape up the flavor from the bottom. It's the beauty of one pot cooking, which in case we haven't met, is my favorite kind of cooking. Not only because of the ease, but because of the opportunity to build all the flavor and textures. Okay, and then I'm also going in with some salsa. And now we've got our tomato sauce for this lasagna. Now for the magic part. I remember the first time I made this, I was like, there's no way that's gonna work, but it does. You're gonna take your lasagna noodles and just kind of work them into this saucy goodness. Then I'm going to add some salsa on the top. Just want them to all touch some moisture. Then we're gonna reduce the heat a little bit, place the cover on, and let it cook for about 20 minutes. About halfway through, you're gonna wanna kind of resituate those noodles now that they've softened, and you can just kind of work them into the sauce. This will just help them cook a little more evenly. About 5 more minutes. Looking like lasagna, but what's a lasagna without cheese? I'm doing Monterey Jack cheese. You could do a Mexican blend. Crack off the heat, cover it, let that cheese melt, and we have turkey taco lasagna. and only one dish to clean. Oh yes, oh yes, look at that. The only difference in a skillet lasagna versus one made in a baking dish is that you don't get the pretty layers, but it's okay when you still have all that good gooey cheesiness. This turned out better than I thought it was going to. You can serve it as is, it's ready to go, or you can top it just how you would your tacos. And you know, we don't have the ricotta like you would in a lasagna, but I still want something a little extra creamy, so I'm gonna go in with some sour cream. And why not some fresh jalapenos? You could also add on avocado here. You do you, boo. It's like my brain's playing tricks on me, you know? I like that a lot. We built a ton of flavor in this one pan, thanks to browning the meat with the onion, then adding in that taco seasoning with salsa and diced tomatoes and green chilies. There's a little bit of kick, but you can control the spiciness based on what level heat, salsa, or tomatoes you used. But the noodles really absorbed a lot of that goodness. They're perfectly cooked. I don't know why I forget about skillet lasagna all the time, but when I do make it, I'm like, this dish right here is just pure genius. And with a taco twist, it's an A+, 1000. Break out the bourbon, because we're making Tipsy Chicken. This dish is full of so much flavor. We're gonna put it with some linguine today for that one pot pasta meal. I've just got some boneless, skinless chicken breast. You could use thighs here if you want. And I'm just gonna season it with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. I had my chicken in a bowl, but otherwise you could just season it straight in the package or in the pan without dirtying up anything else. Toss that to coat. And now I'm gonna make the sauce, and this is just made with a bunch of pantry staples, starting with ketchup, a little bit of soy sauce, and what makes it tipsy, a little bourbon. Just kidding. And then some ground ginger. Whisk this up. That's all the prep it takes. Now it all comes together in our one pan. Get your skillet hot, add in a little bit of oil, and then we're gonna brown the chicken. It's not gonna be fully cooked at this step, but you're trying to develop that first layer of flavor. Get it into an even layer so that you can get browning all around and it won't steam. Got some color developing. Just gonna scoot the chicken over to the pan. I'm gonna add in some butter. Let that melt along with some minced garlic. And I'm also adding in some green onions. This is just the bottom part of the green onion, the white part. Mix it all back together, and a little crushed red pepper. And in goes the spaghetti. Not spaghetti, but linguine. And I'm gonna break it again. Just works better for this. Should have broken the pasta more than once. Now we make it tipsy. And then a little bit of chicken stock. Okay, get all that in there. Happy. And we're not gonna cover this one. We're just going to stand by, stir it occasionally until that pasta is tender. That sauce is thickened. Look at how velvety, silky, saucy this looks. By now the chicken is cooked, should be nice and tender, and it is. And the pasta is too. Let's serve it up, shall we? Oh yeah. It's just that consistency, and that's because the starch from the pasta thickened up that liquid. Green onion looks similar to the first one with different protein in there, but the flavor is extremely different. Tipsy chicken is gonna make you happy, but not tipsy. Won't make you tipsy, but it will get you dancing. You might not have ever thought to put ketchup, soy sauce, and bourbon together. Whoever did was quite smart. Chicken's cooked perfectly. The noodles absorb the flavor. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Just make it. Breaking out the crock pot. For this next one, yes, you can cook pasta from scratch in this bad boy. I'm making creamy Crockpot Chicken Pot Pasta. Say that 3 times. I'm gonna start by cooking the chicken in the crock pot. I'm going old school with a can of cream of chicken. A lot of chicken pot pie recipes call for, to stir in cooked chicken into your filling. Well, the crock pot does it all. It's gonna cook our chicken, make our filling, and cook the pasta, and bring it all together. To that, I'm going to clean out the can with some chicken stock, just to be sure you get it all. Also chopped some onion, along with a little garlic. Just give it a whisk, just to break up that cream of chicken. Not the prettiest of sights. Okay, and then I'm going straight in with my chicken. I'm doing boneless, skinless chicken thighs. You can do chicken breast here if you want, but I'm all about saving some money. Just about 1.5 pounds, straight in. Sprinkle with a little bit of pepper. And there's salt in the cream of chicken and in the chicken broth, so I'm just gonna let that go. About 2.5 hours on high or low for 4 to 6 hours. Okay, our chicken is cooked. Make sure at this point, if you cooked your chicken on low, crank it up to high. And if you already cooked it at high, leave it on high. Frozen mixed veggies for that iconic chicken pot pie look. And I'm also gonna stir in some egg noodles. Chop up that chicken, add it back in. You could also just take your forks and just shred it right into the crock pot if you want. And then I'm also going in with some heavy cream. That pasta is gonna absorb this flavorful cream sauce, and we'll have dinner on the table in about half an hour. Oh yeah, hot and bubbly. Check your seasonings. Already did, so I know it needs a little bit of salt and a good bit of black pepper. And then because it's pasta, why not throw in a little Parmesan cheese? So creamy, saucy, and comforting. Looking good, looking good. One more little sprinkle and some freshness with a little parsley. Chicken pot pasta, straight from the crock pot. It's familiar flavors right there, served up in a new package. Tastes like your childhood. The chicken is cooked perfectly. Those veggies are still crisp tender. The sauce is so comforting, rich, and indulgent. If you are looking for a new way to serve up an old favorite, it's a good one to try. I keep looking around for the dirty dishes, but there just aren't any. And that, my friends, is the beauty of one pot cooking. Yo!